Today I'm going to give you weight loss hacks that actually work. So as you guys know, I'm one of the belly burn coaches here at Fit Club. And by the way, if you're looking to shred some fat and gain some muscle, send us an email north@fitclub.fit. And so these hacks I give specifically to my belly burn clients, and it's resulted in at least 10 pounds in under 28 days of weight loss. So the very first thing, and one of the big questions I get asked is, what is G Hughes sauce? Well, I'm going to tell you this. I've got them all. G Hughes sauce is exactly what the label is. So this says 1,000 Island dressing. This tastes like 1,000 Island dressing, but guess what? Per serving, it's only 50 calories. Now, I love to drench my salads in dressing, and if I put as much dressing on a salad as I did as this, it would probably be about 500 calories. And as you guys already know, because I tell you, it only takes a 500 caloric surplus or deficit to gain or lose a pound. So if I just focused on removing my salad dressing, I could probably lose a pound just by switching over to the G Hughes sauce. Now, in the description of this video, I actually gave out a couple links on Amazon where you can go buy it. I have no affiliation to them. It's $7.99 on Amazon, or if you're down in the States, it's so cheap at Walmart, like $2.99. But after you put the exchange rate, I think our dollar's worth, what, 20 cents right now? So you could probably go down there and get one for about 10 bucks. You might as well just order from Amazon. So G Hughes sauce, no sugar added, low calorie dressing that tastes exactly like what it is. The second is, what scale should you buy? I've recently looked on Amazon, and actually I'm not sure if these guys are still making these scales, but we've got about a dozen of these scales because I wasn't sure if they were ever gonna run out. They first went off Amazon Prime shipping, and then I had to buy it with regular shipping. I have no intentions of ever returning it. These are the same scales that we've been using for about 15 years now, and they've never let me down. Now, what's the difference between this and then your funky scale that comes with the cool app? Well, your funky scale that comes with the cool app probably is only the feet, okay? Now you gotta remember, it's all about how many connections that these can introduce into your body. So the way that this works is it sends an electrical impulse from your feet to your hands, and fat is a bad conductor. The worse conduction that happens from your feet to your hands, then it's gonna read your muscle mass, it's also gonna read your body fat. And so as such, first of all, this name brand has been around for decades. Second of all, the more in contact you are to the machine, the better it's gonna be able to read you. I mean, if you can get some kind of body shrink wrapped that had these electrodes and you can stand in there, it's gonna give you the most accurate reading for under 200 bucks, and you could own this at home. This scale is pretty accurate, okay? I've went and done the underwater body fat analysis where you had to like breathe out all your air in a dunk tank. I've done the pinch calipers. I've done every single method of fat monitoring, and honestly, this comes in within like 0.3% of what those did. So it's pretty damn accurate. You could have it at home, and you can pretty much use this every single day. So the next time that you look to go and buy a scale, make sure at the bare minimum it has the feet and the hands. If the Omron is no longer available, I put a link in the description where you can click on it, and it'll bring you to this one, which is still there, but it's actually not for sale. And in the suggested, look for something that's similar with the feet and the hands. Well, I've punched in all my food, and it doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to eat all of this. Well, that's actually a good thing. And this is actually a discovery that happens with a lot of clients. Now, I hear a lot of gurus out there saying, oh, you need to eat a ton of food in order for you to lose weight and gain muscle. Well, that depends. I mean, that's such a blanket statement that's being thrown around these days because people don't want to build eating complexes. The problem with that is a couple things. Number one, how much muscle mass do you have? So the more muscle mass that you have, and I'm talking like 35 to 40% or more, then yes, you need more calories because muscles only thrive off more calories than fat. But if your muscle is in the 20s, low 20s, you probably don't need a lot of calories to keep those muscles alive. I mean, you need some calories to keep them alive, but not as much as you would think. The second is, how active are you? Okay, so if you're working out once a day and you're going for a 30-minute run and your work is pretty physical, then yeah, of course, you're burning a ton of calories. We need to not starve you, but we want to keep you in a slight deficit. So for somebody that's super active, then I would give them more calories. But if you only work out maybe 2 to 3 times a week for 30 minutes, and you don't really go that hard, and then you sit at a desk all day and you drive your kids to and from hockey, you probably don't need a lot of calories to survive. And then number 3, how often and how hard are you training? So this kind of blends into the first one. So if you're doing 2 to 3 workouts a week and you're barely doing anything, you probably don't need as much calories. But if, like some of our members, you're doing 2, maybe even 3 Fit Club workouts, which are fairly tough if you make them tough, and then they're going 110%, then those types of people, they're gonna burn through their fuel very fast. Now think of this analogy. You have 2 exact same cars, whether they be Civics or they be Ferraris, it does not matter. Now, if the car slowly goes and drives a mile, but let's say it takes 20 minutes to get to this mile, but it drives very slow. That means that that car is getting there very efficiently with using as minimal gas, and in our case, food, to use the energy to move the car from point A to point B. Now, if you take the same car, and this is a test that you can do yourself, and it goes and it applies to your body. If you take that same car and you floor it 1 mile, you're gonna get there in 5 minutes, but you're gonna burn through a ton of gas. And so the car that's flooring it from point A to point B needs more gas, just like the person that works their asses off on the blue. So if you're not working out as hard and as often, so if you don't drive your cars often and you drive it slow from point A to point B, you probably don't need that much gas. But if you're one of those person that speeds to every stop sign and speeds to every stoplight and speeds from point A to point B, driving the exact same car, this might be you and your spouse, drives to the exact same spots but gets there faster and more aggressively, guess which car needs more gas? So in this case, which one are you? And the last one goes out to my poop fans. No, I'm just kidding. So fiber and poop. One person was having trouble pooping. Another person asked how many grams of fiber they should be consuming. Now, when it comes to not being able to poop, a lot of times it's when we're first starting a belly burn and this person spent the weekend having their last dinner where maybe they went out and had a Whopper or maybe they went out and had, some chicken nuggets or whatever it is. It was just food that their body doesn't really like to process well, and it's not processing fast enough, and they haven't consumed enough water, and they probably had no vegetables, and they probably had no fiber, and as such, that food is sitting in their stomach and it's just slowly churning and it's barely breaking down and being released. So that's my recommendation for you, is that number 1, always aim for about 1% of your total calorie intake. Now, if you're a person that doesn't track your calories, and I get it, tracking your calories every single day is very tough, then in your MyFitnessPal, you should be eyeballing your food. Everybody should be at least eyeballing your food, and then aim for 10 to 15 grams every single day. The more calories that you eat, the more grams of fiber you need to help with the digestion process. But number 2 is if you're not pooping, and you need to be consuming water, okay? Because otherwise, you just took a bunch of food, you mashed it up, and you threw it in your body, and the body has no way of breaking it down, okay? It'd be like throwing your laundry in the washing machine without turning the water on, okay? The stuff is moving in there, there's things in there, but it's not being cleaned. It needs the water. It needs to absorb stuff. It needs to get rinsed. The same thing goes for your poop. And the last thing is how much vegetables are you eating? And I'm not talking about the potato that you ate with butter, okay? Or the potato in Jerome's case in his sinigang, okay? I'm talking about actual green vegetables, broccoli, spinach, bok choy, kale. Like there's tons of vegetables that are dark and green. They have a ton of great fiber in them, but they also help to boost your digestive system. And so if you're eating bad, without water, without proper fiber intake, and without vegetables, there's a good chance that you're not pooping. And believe it or not, these are questions that I get not weekly, but daily from belly burners. And so if you've got questions like this, which everybody has questions like this, and you're looking for somebody to go to ask these funky questions because you can't find them on the internet because everything on the internet is very generic. My stuff is very specific to belly burners and getting everybody to get results, okay? If you follow us on Facebook or you follow us on Instagram, you see we produce results, okay? No gimmicks, no entertainment, we just get results. So if you're looking for one of those people to be our next transformation, maybe you don't like sharing photos, but as soon as we start shredding that fat, you're gonna want to, and you're gonna help us grow, and we've got tons of them. you could be our next person. Then go to your email inbox, okay? Go to Gmail, email North, that's right, North, at FitClub, FITCLUB .fit. This is where everybody gets screwed up, Jerome. It's the .fit. But North at FitClub.fit, and then mention the belly burn, and we'll let you know when the next dates are.